YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. The day has finally come. You'd have seen it in the title already. The cat is out of the bag. That's right. Today we are going to pick up our 2023 Lynx Shredder RE. Let's get right to it. The truck is warming up as we speak, so let's go jump in and let's go get ourselves a new sled. Alright guys, we are en route. I thought this would be a perfect chance to share this crazy statistic. Over 90% of viewers on my channel are non-subscribers. That's a lot of people. So I want to just take this time to ask that you guys consider subscribing. It's free, it's easy, and it would mean the absolute world to me and really help my channel. You guys are obviously watching already, so an extra click can't hurt. Let's slowly chip away at that 90%, and all it takes is just one extra click from you guys. I promise you guys, you will not regret it.
We go midnight driving down that lane, pretending the whole world was lame.
Rob took me out back, had a look at it. It actually looks amazing. First time putting eyes on one, and it's pretty sharp, gotta say. And I think Rob, you can confirm this is the first one coming out of Riverside.
This is my first Lynx leaving here today.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
I haven't seen really anything about the Lynxes out in social media or nothing yet, so I'm gonna make the claim right now. This is the first one to get picked up, and let's just say Canada. Let's go with that. We got no one that can tell us otherwise. As you can see behind me here at Riverside, they've got absolutely everything you need. We're in St. Albert, Alberta. If you guys are in the area, hit up Rob. He was amazing. I've been pestering him for the last about 2 months.
Oh, not too bad.
checking in,
months, right?
checking in at least every week. He put up with me the whole time, and we finally got her. We are just finalizing a few little things, and we'll load her up.
To be happy, nothing does I feel love now, don't we? We'll go on. Eventually, what goes up must come down.
Now please disregard the mess behind me. I'm on the final few stages of finishing up my garage. So this is kind of chaos. Got one more panel of slat board to go up. We're almost done. But we will save that for another video because that is not why you clicked on this video. So without further ado, let's have a closer look at the shredder.
Change my life, but so much easier to say than do, say than do. Oh, please help me. Please go easy, easy on me. I can't believe it's so hard for me to see that I deserve this. Deserve to feel happy now. So please go easy. Please go easy, easy on me. Go easy on me.
All right, so there we have it. The 2023 Lynx Shredder RE. So I'm not gonna go too deeply into the features. I'm just gonna hover over some of the features that I'm really excited for and dig into some of the major changes from the previous year, because as we know, this 2023 model is a completely rebuilt model compared to the 2022. So a lot of really exciting changes. So let's get into them. So obviously the first thing we notice is this complete remodel. And of course with the Lynx, we get the 3 headlights as opposed to just the 2 on the Skidoos. The 2 upper headlights are your low beams. And then for your high beams, it engages this lower light as well. So let's go ahead and touch on some of the differences that the RE is gonna come with over the DS. And so of course the main difference is the suspension. So we've got these KYB adjustable. You've just got your 3 positions, soft, medium, and stiff. We also have rebound adjustment as well. So very simple, which I like. You don't want to complicate these things. Make them easy so just your average user like myself can actually use. And then moving to the back, of course, we've got the 2 massive front and rear shocks, as well as some adjustability on these. Also with the RE, as you can see on the inside, we've got rail stiffeners, and these Lynx do not come with the rear bumper. So they do have the tunnel stiffeners on the side. I personally don't see use for the rear bumper, but of course, if it is compromising the strength of the tunnel, then that could definitely be of concern. So we are gonna see how this holds up. Another thing that I'm very excited about is Lynx went down to a 15-inch wide track, an inch narrower than the 16-inch predecessor and the 16-inch that you would see on a Skidoo. The overall width is still the 36 inches, so they are not as narrow of a ski stance as the Skidoos, but we do have a narrower track back here. So I'm very anxious to see just how well this holds a side hill. Another difference are these skis. So they've got the Blade DS Pluses. Having them side by side from a Skidoo, these are much wider, especially at the tip. So again, I'm hoping these don't play too big of a role in fighting this machine off of its edge. One thing to note as well, the riser on the RE is a little taller than the DS, and it's going to be a little taller than what you'd get on the Summit Expert. And so Rob at Riverside hooked me up. He had a Expert riser kicking around, so he went ahead and gave me that. So I'm going to be putting that on before we hit the snow. So I do have to disclose that my other sled is a 2022 Polaris RMK Pro 155. And previous to that, I was riding a 2018 Summit X 850. So I started with Skidoo, went to Polaris for last year, and now we are gonna try out a Lynx. So I still have my Polaris, and I have to say, I was absolutely blown away with the handling on that machine. I think we all can agree that Polaris is kind of well known for being very precise, very predictable in those like steep and technical areas, and in the trees holding an edge. That machine was absolutely unreal. So my biggest concern, if you would, is how this is gonna compare. We talked about the narrower track. That's definitely gonna help. I like the idea of the very rigid chassis. So you should have a lot of input from the body to the skid, but I did get very familiar with the post alignment on the Polaris, the kind of straight up and down. So it's gonna take some time to get used to the angle posts again. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna be doing a ton of comparisons on this machine compared to my Polaris. I still plan on riding the Polaris just so I can hop back and forth and really get some good input and feedback for you guys. After having a year on that Polaris, I was absolutely blown away. Just the rideability, the control, the precision. That thing was an absolute glue on any edge, no matter how steep. And I think it's gonna be very, very tough for this to compete in that department. But they have narrowed these body panels just shy of 3 inches. So we can see now really flat, precise edge on the body panels. So this will be critical in not having that panel wash you out on your steep side hills. So you might be asking the question, at the end of the day, why did you choose Lynx? In my eyes, the Lynx is a bit of a hybrid between the Polaris and the Skidoo. And I know that's not entirely true, but hear me out. Here we have the reliability of the Rotax power plant, which, hard to argue, is probably the most reliable. My previous Skidoo Summit 850 was phenomenal. I rode it for 3 years, never skipped a single beat. That thing was extremely reliable. Then the following year, I switched to the Polaris, my 2022. And if you guys go back to my videos, you can see I had a number of issues. But despite those issues, I was absolutely blown away by the design of that sled and how it handled. So in my eyes, this is a bit of a hybrid to that. You get the reliability of the Rotax from Skidoo, but you get this nice, rigid, robust skid that I'm hoping is gonna handle a little more like the Polaris. We're still dealing with the angled post here, so yes, that's gonna be a big difference. But like I said, I do really like the idea of that rigid chassis. And I can hear all of you saying it right now. Yes, the new Expert T-Motion XT has a lockout, so you're no longer dealing with that pivoting, but it still is not to the same extent as this skid. When we take a closer look, in my opinion, this skid is unparalleled, especially from factory. All the support is coming from the outside of the rails as opposed to one X bracket in the middle. So we're talking as rigid as possible. Many people have said that this is the best suspension package that has come on any unit to date. You can't argue with the massive track shocks, and that also plays into my decision. I'm a bigger guy, and I'm really trying to push myself, get into some bigger drops, some bigger air. So I'm gonna have a ton more confidence having this robust skid underneath me. So that was just a quick overview of some of the features of the sled and also a little backstory as to why I chose this sled. It is beautiful, but it doesn't belong in the garage here. It belongs up in the Alpine, and that's where it's going tomorrow. So stay tuned, guys. Got a lot of phenomenal content coming your way. But for now, we're out.